Podcast, Episode 14, Segment 2, Part 2. Pauly Shore. Oh, Pauly.
Trying to stay relevant.
The weasel. Trying to weasel his way into an Oscar now.
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh, man. Hey, just go away. Just go away.
I have to admit, I follow him on Facebook, though.
Oh, my God. So what's Pauly Shore up to? Pauly Shore looks a little bit like Richard Simmons.
Yeah.
So he says, I need to do a biopic and me starring it so I can win an Oscar. You forget part of it, Pauly Shore. You got to be a good actor to win the Oscar. Well, you should have to be a good actor. That's his whole plan, right? He knows he's a shit actor. So he's like, if I play a gay character in a biopic, or, is a character in terms of the movie, but in real life it's a person. Mm-hmm. But if I do that, that's Oscar gold, baby. He already got made fun of last year at the Oscars, right? Mm-hmm. Because Brendan Fraser and Short Round won the Oscar.
That's right.
Both of them was in Encino Man.
Yep.
And they made fun of it. They said, Pauly Shore ain't here. A few months later, Pauly Shore gets on there and goes, he does a video where he says, I respect Richard Simmons so much. He's such a good guy and we respect him and he had a good message. And I think I should play him in a biopic because I want to win an Oscar.
And I look slightly like him.
Yeah, he's like, I want to win an Oscar. Why can't I win an Oscar? You think I'm lying, but I'm not.
Yeah,
it's more or less what he said.
Basically admitted
He just said the quiet part out loud.
Yeah.
He said, I'm trying to win an Oscar.
Yep. Why can't Pauly Shore win an Oscar?
Yeah, why can't,
is what he said.
Yeah. Why not me? He wants to stand. Look, let's get it out of the way right now. Richard Simmons is a golden god.
Yes, he is.
He's a nice guy. He wasn't a liar. He was very realistic about losing weight. He said, if you work hard, you diet, and you get up and move around, you can lose some weight. Mm-hmm. If you buy my video, you can watch it and dance along with me, and it might help you lose weight. But at the end of the day, remember, it's not about looking like a model. Yeah. It's about being healthy. Right. So it doesn't mean that you have to
and feeling good about yourself.
Be shredded up, because real health doesn't mean go get a fucking thing of creatine and see how much you can bench.
And start getting all these muscles.
Let me let you know a secret. There's a reason that these these big lifters that got the big muscles, there's a reason they get skinny when they get older. It's not because they can't keep lifting weights and taking steroids to keep it. It's because they understand that when your body, the blood's moving through the body, if there's a lot of fucking body to move through, it's harder for the blood to get where it needs to go. Mm-hmm. So as you get older, it's a good idea to be thinner. And even if you got big muscles, that can get in the way of you getting thinner. Also putting yourself under a bunch of stress, high blood pressure. It's actually not extremely a good idea. But anyway, the whole point is, Pauly Shore just needs to shut the fuck up. Because the golden god, Richard Simmons, doesn't want him to do the movie.
Right.
Okay? So this is what Richard Simmons, it's a whiteboard, y'all. It's a whiteboard. This time this is Richard Simmons not talking to us.
Right.
This is just a tweet he put out because Pauly Shore trying to act like Richard is on board with this shit.
Right.
Richard Simmons says, "Hi everybody. You may have heard they may be doing a movie about me with Pauly Shore. I have never given my permission for this movie, so don't believe everything you read." Now, let's tear that down a little bit. Let's see what's going on there. You might have heard that because Pauly Shore's saying it, right? And he said, don't believe everything you read. I'm not a part of this. Now, Pauly Shore did say he was playing phone tag. But,
with Richard Simmons.
Yeah, but he was playing phone tag like the cable guy. Yeah. Where there's like 17 messages over and over again. And by the end of it, he's just like, whoa, shit. But at first, like, we're playing quite a little game of phone tag here. That's what, no, you're not. It's a phone tag.
One person. Yeah, one
It's
person.
one-sided. It's a parasocial relationship that Pauly Shore's got going on with Richard Simmons right now. Now, maybe they did talk. Maybe Richard Simmons says, "Oh, you're going to use my likeness? You got to pay me because I live this life, and if you're going to sit here and you want to get this Oscar so bad, you're going to pay me. You give me royalties for this movie."
Exactly.
Maybe they couldn't afford to do it or didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
So anyway, he goes, "I no longer have a manager and a publicist." He doesn't have anybody connected anymore because he just made his money and went away like Pauly Shore should fucking do. I just try to live a quiet life and be peaceful. This is Golden God talk right now. Thank you for all your love and support, Richard. Thank you, Richard, for being a decent enough person as far as anybody knows, and fucking making your money and living a quiet life later. That's great. Not desperately trying to hold on to it like Pauly Shore.
I think the whole point of him saying, "I no longer have a manager and a publicist," is to say, hey, I have no one out there like speaking for me, telling people that I don't want this done, or if it is done, give me, some money that I would think would be fair.
This is how they're railroading right over him right now.
Exactly, because they're gonna make it whether he wants it made or not. So he's just saying, hey, I didn't give anyone permission to do this.
And then you got Pauly Shore, who looks like an older, more out of shape Richard
Simmons. I know.
I mean, even now, he's not. Richard Simmons older than Pauly Shore, looks better than Pauly Shore.
I know, because even in the short they did, The Court Jester.
Yeah, we watched.
Pauly Shore looked much older than any picture I've seen of Richard Simmons. Like, plus, Richard Simmons looks so much better than him.
Now.
Exactly.
I mean, the last picture I've seen of Richard Simmons looks better than Pauly Shore does now.
Exactly.
You know? So, this is totally bonkers. It's fucking weird. Don't make the movie about the guy that don't want the movie made about.
I mean, he's pretty much saying, hey, I don't, I mean.
Or pay the man. Whatever the problem, you're either going to pay him or you're going to leave him alone.
Right.
But right now it just says, leave me alone, leave him alone.
I mean, if Pauly Shore's really wanting to make, like, a good biopic pick of Richard Simmons, then he should pay him.
Well, if he wants to make a good biopic of Richard Simmons, he needs to get in the time machine and go back about 30 years where he was young and could play a young Richard Simmons.
Yeah.
He's already too fucking old.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Are they going to digitally make him look younger like they do in some of those movies? No, I don't think that's what's going to happen. What's going to happen is they will just do it as Richard Simmons as an older person.
I don't know. Who knows? Maybe not. I don't even think so, because I think he wants to do a biopic of his, like, life. You know what I mean?
He just wants to. This is what he wants to do. Fuck the storyline of the movie. What he wants to do is Richard Simmons is like, who is it? Won't You Be My Neighbor? Who is it?
Oh.
Mr. Rogers?
Yeah.
He's like Mr. Rogers, who everybody's just has good experiences with him and likes him.
Right.
So what Pauly Shore wants to do, since he's been like a piece of shit Nepo baby his whole life, fucking waitresses, he's like, now he wants to just stand on the shoulders of somebody who was a decent person their whole life and then say, me too.
Yeah.
And then like try to take some of that
clout.
what
a good person I am for portraying you so positively.
Exactly. Yeah. So look at me.
Yeah.
And then he's not even hiding that it's all just to try to get an Oscar.
Yeah, he basically said it in the one video we watched.
Yes.
He basically said it.
And you see all these
Why can't Pauly Shore get an Oscar?
Yeah. Because you're not a good actor.
He basically plays the weasel in every movie.
Including where, you know what he did in this one? In this short? He just sounds like Pauly Shore, and he gave himself more of a lisp. Which I don't think Richard Simmons even had much of a lisp, but he had one that was very, very, like, subtle.
Yeah. But I don't remember him ever having a lisp, honestly.
And you know, the section of that was a little bit heartwarming, but it's only heartwarming
It was,
because
it was very
they
heartwarming.
basically just took shit Richard Simmons already said, probably at the end of like a video or something, and then they just took that, cut and pasted it into this. So the words are heartwarming because he's a heartwarming guy that had uplifting, nice things to say to people.
He's so precious.
He's a golden guy.
Oh my God, he's so precious.
He's our first golden guy.
Yeah.
And we only got 2 right now. One is Richard Simmons, and retroactively, Scott DeWaz.
That's right.
Those are our golden gods.
Yep.
And they're infallible.
Exactly.
And if the bad thing's said about them, I don't care what they do. I don't
Same.
care.
Same.
They're untouchable.
They are both precious.
I guess that's about all we got to say about that. Pauly Shore, go away.
Yeah.
Just keep doing your TikToks. Your mom paved the way for you so that you could pretend to be a comedian, and then you did a cutesy little Matt Rife bullshit to kind of get a female audience following you in the early 90s. Then you got old, nobody cares anymore. So go the fuck away. Go away. Go away. All right. Shut it down.
All right. Shutting down. Trying.